welcome to the kitchen. Today we're going to make a bechamel style cheddar cheese macaroni and cheese. And so we're going to start off with 4 tablespoons of butter, 4 tablespoons of flour, 2 cups of milk, a half teaspoon of paprika, a half teaspoon of cayenne pepper, half teaspoon of dry mustard, 2 1/4 cups of shredded cheddar cheese, 1 medium onion that we're going to caramelize, 16 ounces or 1 pound of cooked elbow macaroni pasta, and a 1/4 cup of shredded Parmesan cheese on the top. So now I want to make a double batch. This is the size of a single batch and I need to do it twice. So in order to do that, we just multiply by 2. So that becomes 8 tablespoons of butter, and it's always better to write it on a separate piece of paper so you don't confuse what you have on this with other things. So always write it on a separate piece of paper. 8 tablespoons of all-purpose flour, 4 cups of milk plus 2 cups of milk at the end. When it's doubled, I need more milk to add after I've made the bechamel, I usually find. 1 teaspoon of paprika, 1 teaspoon of cayenne pepper, 1 teaspoon of dry mustard, 2 caramelized onions, and now 2 pounds of macaroni and a half cup of Parmesan. So let's get all of our mise en place ready and I'll show you how to make it. We're caramelizing our onions. So we have 2 large onions sliced, and we have 1 tablespoon of olive oil, and we're doing this over a medium heat. And we're going to keep stirring this until we got a nice, beautiful golden brown color. Caramelized onions, and this is going to go into our mac and cheese. Here are our beautiful caramelized onions, and so what I'm doing is I'm making a double batch, but we're going to put the caramelized onions in one batch because some people don't like them. So I've got 2 pastas ready to go, and here's our cheese and our seasonings. So we're going to get our bechamel going. We've got our 8 tablespoons of butter in the pan, and we need to melt that. And then we're going to add in our 8 tablespoons of flour to it and cook it. Once the butter's melted, we're now going to add in our flour, and we're going to stir it and cook it for 2 minutes. So stirring and cooking, 2 minutes. Our butter and flour mixture has been cooking for 2 minutes, and now we're going to add in our 4 cups of milk. Once you've added the milk, you're going to cook it again for about 2 minutes, and you want to keep stirring, and especially get in the edges of the pan. Okay, you're going to keep stirring that until it thickens. It's going to take 2 minutes again. I've been stirring our sauce for 2 minutes. You can see now how thick it is gotten and smooth and velvety. So we're going to start adding in some of our seasonings. We've got our paprika and our cayenne pepper. And also we're going to add in our dry mustard. So this gives it a great flavor. So definitely, if you can, get the dry mustard in there too. And stir all of that together, and then we're going to add in our 4 cups of cheddar cheese. Now, I don't add salt to this because if you look here, there's a lot of sodium already in the cheddar cheese. Most of my recipes, I make low salt, low sodium, just to be healthier. So if you're worried about a sodium heavy dish, don't add any salt. There's enough in the cheddar. But if you don't care, then you can add a half teaspoon of kosher salt or table salt at this point as well. And you can see, look how thick this has gotten. So I've turned the heat off. I don't want it to get any thicker. And now we're going to add in our 4 cups of cheese. I have our 4 cups of cheddar cheese in there now, and we're stirring this together. See all that melted cheese? It looks glorious. All right, now what we're going to do is add in our pasta. And I usually find that once I've added all the pasta, stirred it together, I then adjust the thickness of the sauce with some more milk, because sometimes it gets too thick, but I don't do that until after I added the pasta, because a lot of times there's water, there's liquid trapped in the pasta, and then visually I decide how much based on what it looks like after I've added the pasta. All right, so this is really thick. So I have 2 cups of milk. I'm going to start off with 1 cup of milk first, thin it out and see if it's thin enough, and then see if I need to add the next cup. So I ended up adding all 2 cups of the extra milk, and you see how thin this is now? Much better. We're going to put it into our baking dish, and we're going to put it in an oven And remember, I'm doing 2 batches. So the first batch, I'm gonna get that set up because the second batch, I'm adding the caramelized onions to. I portioned both, and now I'm just gonna stir in the caramelized onions to this one, get that thoroughly mixed in. And here is our half cup of cheddar. We're gonna sprinkle that over the top, and we'll put it in the oven. I always like to finish it off with a little Parmesan as well, and but I do also like to change up the cheese in it too. So this one is our cheddar with caramelized onions, and the plain one that we have right here with no caramelized onions, I'm going to change up the cheese on the top. So this we have an Italian blend, and this is a Mexican cheese blend. So I think I'm going to use this, the Mexican blend, to give it a little more interesting flavor on the top, since we didn't add anything extra to it. Here are our beautiful macaroni and cheeses. This one is with the caramelized onions and cheddar, and this one is our plain with the Mexican Fiesta blend and cheddar on top, make it a little more interesting. And then let's go back to the recipe. We did a double batch, which was 8 tablespoons of butter, 8 tablespoons of all-purpose flour, 4 cups of milk to make the bechamel. We thinned it out then with another 2 cups of milk after we made the bechamel. 1 teaspoon of paprika, 1 teaspoon of cayenne, 1 teaspoon of dry mustard, 2 large onions that we caramelized with 1 tablespoon of olive oil. Then we did 2 pounds of macaroni pasta. And then on the top, we added some Parmesan and shredded cheddar. And to the bechamel, we added the 4 cups of cheddar. To the top, we put the 1/2 cup of Parmesan and the 1/2 cup of shredded cheddar over the top of the caramelized onion one. I added an additional amount of cheddar and the Mexican Fiesta blend on top of the plain one. So I hope you are inspired to make this at home. Absolutely delicious. I'm gonna dig in right now. For more recipe demonstrations, please click like and subscribe to Chef Victoria Loves YouTube channel and have fun in the kitchen. Thank you.